Hello everyone, it's Kathy Champion and you're back here with me at Random Acts of Crafting, and today I am working once again with our E-Club kit, and I want to thank you so much for joining. If you are already a subscriber, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, and if you have not subscribed yet, or if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't take anything from you, you're not obligated to anything. It does help me grow my channel so that I can bring more quality videos to y'all. So, and if you want to be notified, just ring that little bell and you'll have some options there on how you receive your notifications. I appreciate you so very much, and let's go ahead and get started. This is part of the E-Club kit for October, and I'm going to do somewhat of maybe a simple layered type card, and I'm going to bring in some things from my own stash as well as some of the items in the E-Kit. So I just want you to, anything that's in the E-Kit, I will say, I'll tell you what, anything that's not the E-Kit, I will tell you that it's from my stash. I think that'd be easier because the vast majority of this is coming from the kit. Now I am going to bring in some punches that are mine, the trimmer, my trimmer, and things like that, which of course is mine, my glue and adhesives and things like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm kind of heeing and hawing about this a little bit because I really haven't come up with a direct plan yet, but I know that I want my card to have some beautiful layers, and I want my card base to be out of this this really pretty orange paper. That's a really pretty fall. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and the first thing I want to do is just go ahead and get this trimmed down. The first thing I'm going to do, if you have paper that has the branding strip on it, I always cut that away first. And if you want to make sure that you're cutting it to the true 11 inches, what I would suggest is, pull your trimmer all the way out to 11, line your paper up at 11, and then, oops, I think I slipped. Line it up like that, and then do your slice. And that way, see, and that was a little bit more than just the branding strip. So I keep this because you can use this side of it. So I'm going to lay that over there. And now I want to cut this because it is 11. I'm going to cut it at 5.5. So basically I'm cutting it in half. And then once I've cut that in half, I have an 8 by 5.5, and I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And this gives me my A2 size card. So I'm going to pull that cut blade down. And if you have questions about the trimmer that I'm using, this is a Stampin' Up trimmer. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, although I do not do my Stampin' Up demos on this channel. I have a separate channel, and I'll list that in the description below in case you want to go over and join me there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and get a good crease on this card. This is a very heavy-duty paper, so or cardstock. So I'm going to make sure that I train this paper to go in the direction that I want it to. So I'm going to hold it and then press it really good with your bone folder. The better your crease is, the better your card's going to lay flat. So you might want to do it on both sides just to give yourself a nice little area there. The next thing we have is these 3 little pre-cut pumpkins that came in our kit, and I'm going to lay them up here so you can see them. They kind of get lost on that white paper. But you have a large and a medium and a baby pumpkin. And I thought, how cute would that be if we use some of this pattern paper and we glue our pumpkin to the back of it and then just cut around it. I think that will be super cute, and we'll have a patterned pumpkin when we finish. And I want 3 different patterns on this, so let's look through the paper pack. And I want something that's going to look pretty next to that orange. Okay, so we know we're doing that piece, and I think I'm going to do this teal because I love the teal, and maybe we'll do one from the back of this one. So let's do the baby pumpkin on the teal, and what you want to do is make sure you turn your paper over to glue down your pumpkin. So I'm going to grab my art glitter glue, and I am just going to put a little glue right on the back, making sure you get the edges good, just like that. And all I'm going to do is just drop it on this paper and slide it where I want it. And I'm going to sit that over and let it dry. And then we're going to do the next one. And I think I want it to be, this color. So it's going to be this color here. Let's see. Teal. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put glue all over this, making sure I get around the edges. And that stem, that's important. And I'm just going to glue that down on that side. And then I'm going to take the bigger one and I'm going to glue it down on this side. I think I'll do it over here just to make sure I don't interfere in that other cut piece. And let's glue this down right here. I'm going to let these sit and dry, and I'm going to grab my little fussy cutting scissors or my paper snips. Now, like I said, you will see me use a lot of Stampin' Up products in my videos because being a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I have quite a bit of Stampin' Up products. So again, these paper snips, they're very similar to the Cutter Bee scissors, but these scissors are awesome. Now all we're going to do is just cut right around, just follow the line. And just like if you're fussy cutting, you don't want to turn your scissors, you want to turn the paper. So, and just let the paper guide the scissor blade. And this is kind of like fussy cutting, but I think it's a little easier because you have a ridge there to kind of follow, rather than just a stamped line. So I do find this to be a little bit easier. So all I'm going to do now is just snip down and pull that out, and then just snip right across there. And we've got a beautiful pumpkin that's all covered and ready to go. So now let's go ahead and go over and get these. And what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to cut it away from the paper. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one while I got my mojo going in that direction. And I'm going to cut this one next. This is the big one. And remember what I said, let your paper guide your scissors. So turn your paper. And yeah, fussy cutting can be a little tedious, but you know, if you just sit down and you just kind of zen yourself out a little bit, just kind of, you know, meditate. If you like to listen to music, put some music on and just sit and do some fussy cutting. It can be very therapeutic. And even if you don't like fussy cutting, most of the time the reason people don't like fussy cutting is they don't feel like they're good at it. They try doing it and it's like, oh, this looks like a total hot mess, and they get frustrated and they don't try. But I am here to tell you, the more you fussy cut, the better your skill becomes. So don't give up. You know, stamp out some images on just some cheap cardstock or maybe even on some junk mail, and just sit down at night when you're watching TV and practice. You know, it doesn't have to be a project. Just practice your fussy cutting, and you'll be surprised how quickly you get really good at it. Alright, last pumpkin. And I'm going to come in and trim this one out. I think these pumpkins look so cute covered like this. And around we go. It is so crazy with the weather from one side of the country to the other. It has been, here in North Carolina, we have had some beautiful weather this past weekend. Yesterday was a little, I guess cloudy and drizzly and not quite so pretty, but oh my goodness. Friday and Saturday was gorgeous, and we took a little day trip down to Myrtle Beach. I live very close to the South Carolina line. So Myrtle Beach is usually the beach of choice for this area because it is our closest beach. Even though I'm in North Carolina, I'm over in the western part of North Carolina, not the coast. And I do love the Outer Banks though. Mag's Head, down in that area, that's probably my favorite place to go, but it's about 6 or 7 hours depending on traffic to get there, and we can actually get to Myrtle Beach in about 3.5 hours. So we took a little day trip and went up there, and oh my goodness, we had so much fun. It was really nice. It was a beautiful day. We went out and walked on the beach. We took some pictures. Oh, it was heavenly. I'm thinking what I want to do is maybe put a mat on here. So I'm going to look at this other pack of paper and see if I can find something that I want to be my outside window, outside my little frame. I'm thinking this yellow would be really pretty. So, because you know, fall, just because it's fall doesn't mean that we don't have some beautiful days. Just like I said, you know, it was in the 80s and very sunny and just heavenly. I think I could easily be a snowbird because I love to watch it snow, but I don't want to get out in it. And that's because I've gotten old. And that's my excuse, and I'm gonna stick to that one. When I was a kid, of course, all kids love snow, and I'm originally from Virginia, and back in the day, we used to get some really nice snows. I mean, it would be, we'd be out of school a good little bit during the school year, during December, January, February, and sometimes even into March. But, okay, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to cut this down into a mat. So I know this is an A2 card, so I know it's 4.5 by 5.5, so I'm going to go 4 1/4. 4 1/4 by, oh, it should have been 4. Yeah, 4. I need to cut 1/4 inch off of that. So 4 by 5 1/4. See what happens when I'm talking? I need to just hush and craft, right? That's okay. We'll definitely use this little strip for something else. Okay, 5 1/4. And how I get that measurement, for any of my newbies that don't understand matting, I knew that this piece was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I went down 1/4 inch. So I took 1/4 inch off, so that would have made that 4 inches, and because it's 4 1/4, and you take 1/4 away, that's 4, and it's 5 1/2 inch long, and I take 1/4 away, and that makes it 5 1/4. So I am going to put that down right there, but y'all know how I am. I don't like to glue anything down until I know that I've got my card like I want it. So I am one of those people that likes to lay everything out a little bit ahead of time. So I'm thinking this right here, and I want to do the big pumpkin in the middle. Nope, that's the small, that's the medium. Maybe I want to do them like this. Here, here, and here. Let's see how that looks. I like that. Straighten that up, and I want to find what I want back here. Maybe that little welcome fall, and I think that would be a little bit too busy. Maybe we could do autumn splendor right across there. I like that. Isn't that pretty? That's very simple, very basic, but I think it's beautiful. And this is a very simple way to make a beautiful fall card without a whole lot of hoopla. Now, I am going to go back and I'm going to use my punches because I want some. This is like a little maple leaf and this is like an oak leaf, and we're going to have some leaves falling. So I'm just going to put this in, and I'm going to punch out some leaves, and we're going to have some little leaves just kind of coming down here and there. I love these little punches. I think they're so neat to have in your stash, and these punch beautifully. Okay, so maybe now we need to find some brown leaves. So how about this piece? And I'm going to do a couple off of this. One of each. And let's do the yellow. We got this beautiful yellow that we haven't done yet. And maybe one of these. And let's see how these are going to look. We are just going to drop them every here and there. We just want them to land wherever, whenever. Isn't that cute? I love that, and I think it just adds to the card by dropping those little leaves on it. So let's go ahead now and put this card together. We know how we want it. So I'm going to slide everything off, and the first thing I'm going to do is lay my layer down, my mat. And I think I'm just going to use art glitter glue for this. You could use a tape runner, you could use two-sided tape, but you can also just use your basic, whatever your favorite glue is. So I am going to lay that right there and press it down. Then I want to get my little frame, and do I want to pop this up? I don't think so, because I want to pop up the pumpkin. So let me get my little dimensionals out of here. So let's glue this straight down. This will be an easy piece to put down. So I want it to go right about here, and I'm just going to eyeball even it. That looks pretty good. What do y'all think? Alright, so now let's get our biggest pumpkin, and we're going to pop the pumpkins up. So I'm going to use some, these are my Stampin' Dimensionals. They're just what I had close by, so I grabbed those. You could use a 3T foam tape like the Scotch. You could use whatever type of little pop dots or dimensionals that you might have in your stash. These just happen to be what I have. And I do love these. I think they work really good. So I'm just going to wrangle these little backers off. And if y'all have any questions about any of the products that you see me use in this video, my email will be listed, so just pop me an email. I'm wondering if I want to ink around the edge of this, and I think I do. I think I do. I'm going to use I think I'm going to use my vintage photo. This is Distressed Oxide inks, and let me grab one of my inkers. And we got one of these in our kit, so you know, if you have whatever kind of ink you have, you can use whatever. You don't have to use the Distressed Oxides, but these do work really well. So I'm just gonna to give this a little more definition. And that's what inking does. It really makes the edges of it look, I don't know, kind of a finished look, I think. And it defines it a little bit more, so it doesn't kind of get lost in your paper. Okay. And normally you would do that before you put your dimensionals on there. So I'm going to set this one up about here. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to ink it. It also cuts back on any white that might be showing. So it's a good reason to do it, if nothing else, but for that. Just makes it pretty. Alright, so I'm going to turn that one over, and we're going to put a couple dimensions on it. I think we just need 2 on this one. Y'all know I'm going to get my fingers in ink, right? Which I already have. So let me wipe my fingers off before I smear that on my card. That's never a good thing. And if y'all notice I have a bruise, I don't know, I banged myself somewhere in getting ready to go Friday on our little day trip, and I didn't notice the bruise until later that afternoon, and I was like, oh my heavens, I have done a number. So I was like, oh my goodness, I got a really nasty bruise here. Let's see, we're going to put him right here, and then we got our itty bitty one, and we're going to ink him too. Just like that, and I think 1 dimensional on this will be suffice. And we're going to sit our itty bitty pumpkin right up there and kind of tuck him underneath there just a hair. Now we have this beautiful autumn splendor that I want to put right there. And I'm not going to pop this up, I'm going to put it straight down, because I want it to live behind that pumpkin stem. This would be a beautiful card if you're going to a family member's house for Thanksgiving this year. Of course, with COVID, I don't know that anybody's going to have that opportunity. We all might be having our little Thanksgiving at home with our own individual family. And like for me, that would be my husband and myself. So it is a little sad that this horrible, horrible thing is keeping families from being together, celebrating and doing the things. And I'm sure Christmas is going to look very different this year than it has. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting glue on these leaves and gluing them straight down. Now this one, I want it to just be right here on the edge of this. And the reason I want this one on the edge is because it is the color of the paper. So I want it to look like it just landed right there. So, you know, we could have a leaf that fell on the pumpkin. Oh, these leaves are so cute. I really do love these. I think that they really add to the card, don't y'all think? And they're just a punch. So simple, punched out of regular paper. So now I need to decide about how I want to do my inside. So let me move my ink out of my way. And I think for the inside, I'm just going to go with a basic white piece. And let's see, I have some pieces already cut. Let's see if this is right. It is. We do need a sentiment for the inside, or something that just says, let's see if we have any of our little ephemera pieces. This is cute. Welcome Fall. That would be cute. We could ink around it and maybe even pop it up. Let's do this. Let's ink around this piece. And this one. This is really taking advantage of all of your little ephemera pieces that you got by using those for your sentiments. And this way, if you don't have stamps, this is still a beautiful way that you can make a card. I am going to pop that up, and I'm going to use my Scotch phone tape for this because I'm going to put some strips across the back. So I'm just going to, this is my Scotch phone tape, and I'm going to cut a piece about that long. And then what I want to do is I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to grab a longer pair of scissors because I want to do this kind of in one swoop. Like so. And then I want to put a piece across here. And let's see. I think that's going to work. And across here. And then I'm going to put this kind of up to the top, you know, not completely, but about, I guess, 3/4 of an inch down. And just put that right there. Then I'm going to take some art glitter glue and swirl it around. This would be a nice card too if you normally go to, you know, a family member's house. We always go to my husband's sister's and everybody gathers there for Thanksgiving. We all take dishes and we eat together and it's so much fun. When we can't do that this year, this would be a great card to send telling that family member how much you appreciate them and how much you miss them. And isn't that beautiful? I think this turned out absolutely stupendous. It is Autumn Splendor, and it is a beautiful time of the year. The colors are gorgeous. It seems like because of the rain that we got, we really we're having or experiencing beautiful colors this year in the mountains, and now it's starting to move down into this area, which is considered the Piedmont, and it's beautiful. So I hope y'all enjoyed watching me bring this card together. Another card, fall card from the E-Club kit for October, and the last card that I made was pretty intense, and I don't know that it was a card for everyone, but I loved it. I love interactive cards, and I really did enjoy making it. So hopefully this one is more up many of your alleys, and it would be something more simple, and y'all saw how quick I threw this card together. So and that was even in showing you how to make it. So if I wasn't doing a video, I probably could have thrown this together in half the time. But anyway, I love everyone so very much. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. And again, like I say, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I would appreciate having you here with us so much. I am trying to get to that 1,000 mark, and we're getting close. So your support means so much. So if you're watching and you have not subscribed, hit that button and give me a thumbs up. Hey, give me a thumbs up even if you are subscribed. I need those to keep my status here on YouTube. So thanks again so much, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Lord Jesus. He is worthy. Until we craft again, bye-bye.